So yeah, I mean, my ego was just like, you know, I was a huge like Muhammad Ali kind of ego, you know, like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I was out there to like basically fight the whole world.
You
You know?
even said it in a,
Yeah, it's kind of gnarly, you know, that when you put yourself in that position, you're ready kind of to fight everybody instead of go with the flow. You know, there were certain times when I learned to kind of go with the flow, and it was in being spontaneous. I learned to be very spontaneous. But, you know, like I said before, I made a lot of mistakes as well as doing a lot of good things. And as I got older, I started to learn from some of those mistakes and the experience got better. But you know, living like that rock star lifestyle is pretty rough sometimes. You know, it's not really as
as good
glamorous and as beautiful as you would think it would be. There's a lot of pressure. A lot of the money that I got, I squandered on material things that I probably could have used the money more wisely. And you know, but I don't regret any of that stuff. Everything that I did back then is what got me here, and so I can look basically at the past with no regret. But you know, my deal is to stay right here in the future. I mean, you know, right here where we're at in the present.
MTV Sports interview.
And hope, yeah, and hope that the present will lead me to a bright future. You know, because we don't think about tomorrow and we're not worried about yesterday. It's right here, right now. It's like the Buddhist way, like it's just stay in the moment.
That's really cool.
And surfing teaches you that a lot.
Yeah.
You can't go out in the water, be surfing and thinking about something else, because you're just gonna like not be able to like even focus on surfing, or you're gonna get hurt. Something's gonna happen. So for me, a lot of it has come to the point where being a man, I act more like a full-grown adult instead of a kid. Like half my life, I acted like a kid. You know, it's kind of crazy like that. But
hey, it's cool. You learned. That's it. It's your
experience.
life. You learn.
It's experience.
Experience is this, man. You cannot run away from it.
My skateboarding is a technique. It's like martial arts. It's something that I learned, I perfected, and I use it to this day. It's like Bruce Lee did. You know, you just perfect your art, and you get really, really good at it. You know, like, because you see skating here today, I'm not wearing any pads. I'm not wearing anything. I'm just out skating, and my main thing is to stay on the board. You know, don't bail. If I have to bail, I know I'm going to have to use my technique with falling to where I don't get hurt, so I can get back on the ramp and skate some more. So, you know, a lot of it is just mental, and then the rest is all the body follows the mind. You just keep it true, you know, keep it true to your heart, and everything comes together.
Cool.
You know?
Did you know Bruce Lee could give an 1-inch punch and you would like flew 3 meters?
I believe it. I believe it. He was, well, you know, there's a lot of guys that we look up to as like being experts in what they do. And I mentioned Bruce Lee, I mentioned Muhammad Ali, you know, like guys like Kobe Bryant, like there's just amazing athletes, you know. And you look at these guys like Kelly Slater, like a 10-time world champion surfing. These are the kind of athletes that for me are not only peers, but they're also role models, you know. And it's just like I strive to be the best that I can just on a daily basis by just being right here, right now.
That's really cool. Who was the coolest person for you that said for you, you rock, man, like when you were young, that you wasn't expecting?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. It might be, there's a guy, basically, I guess the one guy that really, like, I was stoked that I got accreditation from when I was a young kid was Jeff Ho.
Jeff Ho.
You know, and just to have him just, because even later in life, whenever Jeff gives me a compliment, or like, because we do a lot of things together where I accepted an award for being in the Hall of Fame, you know, Skateboarding Hall of Fame, and afterwards Jeff came up to me and complimented me on my words and what I had to say, and that was huge. That's huge, because, you know, he's like a big brother to me and was a father figure when I was at a very young age, and I think that really like made my, you know, my heart and my soul feel like I'd really made progress.
Really cool, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
A guy that when he said it, he really means it.
Yeah, I think there's a few other guys, but none as close to my life as Jeff. He's still close to me in a, you know, of like a family kind of way, a family feeling, you know.
Yeah.
So to get approval from him was probably like a huge thing, even at a young age, and it is still as a man.
Cool. So, pool riding. Who from the crew discovered and thought about the idea of riding a pool? And describe us a little bit about the process of bailing in, emptying the pool, splitting from the pigs.
Well, you know, there was guys doing it before us, but they didn't have the boards and the wheels and the stuff that we had. We were lucky because, like I said, urethane wheels came into play. Trucks got bigger, wider, stronger. Boards got lighter and wider. And we just started looking for empty swimming pools in our area in Santa Monica, which is a pretty rich neighborhood. And they had a drought where there wasn't a lot of water to fill the pool. So any pools that were under repair or had half full of water, you had to empty them. And we were good at finding the pools and emptying them, you know. And a lot of times, even if we had to trespass to get in, if it was a really good pool, we didn't care, you know. We'd just go in, regardless of whether the law said no or whatever, you know. So we get chased out a lot. We get chased out by the dogs, by the owners, by like security, by the police. You know, we had helicopters coming over, looking, chasing us sometimes. You know, but we always kind of had a plan. You know, like we had a way to get in, and just like I said with the contest, we had a way to get out. We had to, you know, we knew even from the first contest that we're gonna break in. But you know what? We might have to break out. So we always
plan. You always have to have a plan.
It's like well, it sounds silly. Like it's kind of like breaking into jail or something. Like you break in to go to jail, but you gotta break out, you know, because you're in jail now. But you're in a jail that has a really pretty empty pool in it, so.
It's worth.
So we're jumping over the bars, going through the fences, running through the houses, whatever it took. Because like in the Lords of Dogtown, which is funny, the one scene, the kids run through the house. You know, and the guy, they're throwing fruit at the guy, and then they're making cocktails with the wife and doing. See, it's kind of funny because that's fictional in a feature film for kids, but it's not that far from the truth, you know, because we did a lot of silly stuff like that.
Were good days, huh?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in the 70s and like stuff. It was a special era, and that's one of the things too, I think, when it comes to my history in skateboarding. I think a lot of the things is I was really fortunate that I was born and raised at that time in that place. You know, and that's another thing I think back and I just think like, is it luck, is it fate, or is it just God's will for me, you know? So I have to think back and in a way I think now, besides the fact that I always had a guardian angel because I'm still alive and I didn't end up in prison.
Have a guardian angel company.
I think it was more like a, you know, God sends this guardian angel down to like keep an eye on this guy because he's trouble.
He had work. He had a lot of work to do.
Well, it's a 9 lives thing too. You know, there's a lot of kind of superstition. You know, like how many lives have I used already? You know, maybe 7, 8. You know, who knows? So I try to be careful. You know, when it comes to, I know my limits nowadays. I really know my limit. You know.
But back then it was good that you didn't know your limits because you push it far away and you see how far the things are gone here, and we are here skating now. We are doing this interview with you because you pushed the limit back then, and that is a thing that I think is really cool, and I think you are proud of it. I think you should.
I am in a way, but you know what it is now is that I do have a grain of humility, and the humility grows because the reason that I can be at peace with myself and have serenity is because I can share with other people and it doesn't always have to be all about me.
Yes.
You know, the little bit of humility has grown from a little piece of sand to like a little rock now. You know, and so what I try to do is I try to share and be of service to other people and be kind to them, be loving and tolerant of them. Try not to be sarcastic, say mean things to people, you know, and just have patience. Because having patience with other people, I kind of learned this from my little dog. I have a little dog that I love, and he's so easy for me to be compassionate, patient, loving, and tolerant with. And I'm like, oh, why can't I be that way with people, you know? Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is, as I get older,
be a little dog.
Try to treat people like my little dog. You know, just be kinder and be more patient with them.
That's cool.
What dog you think he would be if he was a dog?
I don't know, that's a good question. Probably a collie, a miniature collie.
No, not a miniature collie. All right. I'm a badass Rottweiler or something, man.
Sorry, no way.
No way.
All right, now talking about dogs, the dog bowl. Like with the growth of skates, the Z-Boys kind of split up. Everybody got sponsored, traveling the world. And with the dog bowl, you kind of get together once again, right? Without the external pressure. And how was this? Riding again?
It was beautiful. The only sad part was that our friend Dino was dying, and that was kind of like a sad note because the pool was ridden momentarily before he left us. But there's been a lot of guys. We've lost a lot of guys lately too, you know, and it's in a way death is sadness, but there's a lot of joy too in it because I think that you know, it's a door to eternal life. But you know, the skateboarding and the pool and all that was at another all-time high. We all felt like we had some sort of success. Some of the guys in competition, other guys in just marketing and getting photographs in magazines, and you know, there was a lot of like a celebration. You know, it was a bit of a celebration of not only one of our favorite places to skate, but a celebration of life. And I think that for us to all reunite and be able to do it on our own terms, and skateboarding is for us it's an expression of the way that we lived our lives, and we like to it's like a dance, you know, but an abstract art at the same time. So it was basically a bunch of artists together just expressing themselves, and it was a really beautiful thing. But you know, a little sadness in it too. Yeah. We've lost a lot of soldiers, you know, like this. In 2010, here we are. I'm 52 years old. I'm still a professional skateboarder, one of the oldest professional skateboarders in the world. A lot of my friends are, you know, not here anymore to share this with me. So what I do is I try to carry on. Every day I'm pushing the limit one more day. And I try to carry on though with just that style and the pride and the heritage and the roots of where Dogtown came from. And for me, it's just one more day, surfing and skating, one more day, you know?
Just one more day.
Yeah, one more day. Just one more day.
What you want.
One more day.
And what was back then at the dog bowl when you landed the first frontside air and changed skateboard history forever? Yeah. And what we really want to know here is, was you trying to land it? Like, was a goal for you? You wanted to really, you knew it was possible and wanted to land it.